Hey, welcome into Movement Parallels Life. I'm Kellen Mylad, and today we're going to flow through a 15-minute session focusing on stretching and mobility. If you're new here, I'm happy to have you. Just for some context, these practices are rooted in basic human movement rather than traditional exercising. We all move in similar ways, but for the patterns we're exploring today, there is no single perfect form. I encourage you to make modifications to meet your body where you're at. Don't push through pain and follow what feels good. I like to ease into the practice by starting off with these small movements to check in and see where my body is at. Take as much time in this process as you'd like, and if you're ready to go, let's get into the practice. Lie on your stomach, and we're going to begin with prone scorpion reaches. Keep your arms at your sides at 90-degree angles. Bend one knee, lift your leg, roll and reach across your body, bringing your hip into full extension. Keep your shoulders broad and your neck long. Gently press your forearm into the floor to create the active stretch through your chest and shoulder. Hold for a few moments and alternate from side to side. As we're going through these movements today, I want to encourage you to give yourself permission to play and explore. Use my cues and my movements as a reference point for your movements, but don't feel like you need to be glued to the screen or moving exactly how I'm moving. Again, it's really helpful here to not think of these as exercises that have a single set form, but patterns of movement that can be expressed different ways. The more you practice these ground-based movements, the more you'll find the variations and the little details that best suit your body. Alright, that sound is just to let you know that we're switching patterns. Come back to center and we're going to stay in this prone lying position but move on to spinal extensions. You can begin on your forearms and start by simply pressing up. Use the strength of your back to initiate the lift and support with the press of the arms. Keep your shoulders drawn back and your chest open. Feel the contraction in your back and the opening of your front line. Breathe deeply and soften as you work within your pain-free range of motion. You might also add in some easy rotation looking over each shoulder. Keep working through these spinal extensions for 15 more seconds. Lower down from your press, and next we'll go through some shoulder stretches. First, lie on your stomach and draw your arm horizontally across your body for a posterior capsule stretch. Keep your shoulder drawn down and flex and extend at the elbow a few times. Okay, now switch sides. Come out of the stretch, then sit your hips back and extend your arms forward for a shoulder flexion stretch. I like to keep my hips stacked above my knees and rise up onto my fingertips. I keep my core engaged enough so that the stretch targets my shoulders. Also, you might take this option to thread one arm underneath the other to feed into a thoracic twist. Next, rise up onto hands and knees and we'll move through some spinal waves. These can be as simple or as weird as you like. Begin by sitting back to your heels, rounding your spine, rolling forward and opening up at the end. Repeat this action rolling like a wave, keeping your knees on the ground or elevating into a crawl position. As you find your rhythm, continue smoothly flowing through these waves and don't hesitate to integrate some circular movements or any other variations that feel right for you. Let your mind relax, not focusing so much on judgment or making the movement perfect, but simply following the lead of your body. Next, we'll make our way to kneeling and work through some rotation reaching. Start in a low kneel. Rotate through your shoulders and plant your same side arm. Your opposite arm is going to reach horizontally across your body. Extend through your fingertips to create the stretch. Smoothly alternate from side to side. For another variation, rise up to tall kneeling. Keep your pelvis leveled and bottom ribs dropped. Turn your head, rotate through your shoulders, and reach back, maybe slightly leaning back from your knees as if you were trying to reach the wall behind you. Keep flowing through these rotation reaches for 15 more seconds. All right, now take a moment to regroup and set yourself up in a half kneeling position. Pick a side that you want to start with and we'll switch after a minute. Begin with your legs at 90-degree angles. Your weight is stacked over the down leg with your pelvis and bottom ribs tucked. Root into the ground to create the active stretch and maybe add in some reaching to stretch a bit more. Then we can begin adding some gliding movements. Shift your weight forward and back. Every few shifts, reposition your front foot to glide and stretch at different angles. Okay, we'll switch sides and continue on with these half-kneeling glides. As you move forward, feel the compression in the front hip, knee, and ankle. Feel the strength and stretch in the elongation of the back leg. Pulse and oscillate to mobilize your hips in different ways. Breathe deeply and keep on flowing. Keep working through your glides for 15 more seconds. Great work. Let's move on. Rise up onto your feet into a wide stance squat. Feel your upper body tall and strong, stacked on top of your pelvis. Keep your thigh bones spiraling outward to avoid any inward collapse of your knees and or the falling of your arches. Sense your feet engaging and drawing energy up from the ground. Breathe deeply as you hold the position and maybe begin adding in some movement, shifting from side to side at whatever depth works for you. Stay strong and focused, holding your wide squat for 15 more seconds. Next, make your way into a single leg hinged balance. Pick a side and we'll hang out here for about 60 seconds before switching sides. If you're feeling stable, try adding tilting movements or any other variations that might challenge you. At this point, your standing leg might be burning a little bit. Embrace it. Keep on breathing. Stay focused. 15 more seconds. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. Set up the balance, paying attention to the sensation of your foot rooting to the ground, the strength of the standing leg, and the elongation of your body from the crown of your head to the sole of your foot. Add a little movement to make things challenging, but also keep it playful. Keep breathing and stay relaxed. Just 15 more seconds. You got this. All right, we're in the home stretch. Just a few more movements in today's practice. Return to 2 feet and relax into a deep hinge forward fold. Again, make any modifications or use any props to give your body extra support here. Begin to lower down into your deep knee bend. Then lean back and gently lower your knees to the floor. Then reverse the path, first returning to your deep knee bend, then elevating your hips and going back to the deep hip hinge. Hang out here for a few moments, breathing and moving softly, and then continue flowing through the sequence, slowly lowering down to your deep knee bend, gently transitioning down to kneeling, pause, and reverse. Let's lower down to kneeling one more time. Then make a transition into a side sit position. Take some time here to relax, stretch, and flow. Alternate from side to side whenever you'd like. We'll finish out today's practice by coming into an inverted crawl position. Keep your arms locked out, posted back behind your hips. Begin by rocking smoothly forwards and backwards. And if this is feeling strong and stable for you, you might try incorporating these alternating bridge reaches. Shift your weight to one arm as you elevate your hips and rotate to stack your shoulders. Bring your top arm into an arcing reach, framing your head. Final seconds, get your last reaches in. All right, and with that, our session is complete. Great job, and thank you so much for coming through to move with me today. As always, take good care of yourself, keep on flowing, and I'll see you in the next practice.